Warning, pussies, bitch-ass snowflakes, and fans of The View won't even make it through the intro. Please just fuck off now. And for those of you who are not little bitch-ass pussies, what's up, motherfuckers? Wishing you folks a gracious good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be for you, wherever in the world you folks may be. You know what we're going to do over here? We're going to get fucked up. We're going to make fun of some cops and some retards. Hopefully, you can learn something from the interactions highlighted today, and hopefully, I can introduce you folks to a channel that you hadn't yet seen before. Now check this out, right? I'm gonna do my very best to make this intro as short and sweet as humanly fucking possible, because tonight I have the opportunity to bury my tongue in some chick's asshole. Now I know what you're thinking. I must insist on this. I have to redeem myself, because the last time I had my tongue buried deep in some chick's ass, I was so deep in her ass, I knew the flavoring that she put on her corn. Now the last time this fucking happened, right? This was an epiphany for me. This fucked me up, right? The whole time this is going on, right? The whole time I'm fucking licking this bitch's intestines, I'm thinking to myself, did I take my fucking evening medications yet? This is an opportunity to redeem myself. All being said, listen, that's bad news, man. This fucked me up today. For the last couple days, I've been talking about Lauren Boebert. I don't give a fuck if she's Republican, Democrat. I don't give a fuck. She's bad as fuck, right? So anyway, she goes on fucking Rumble this morning, and she says, you know, I'm gonna go on Rumble. We're gonna get this fundraiser going because her campaign is losing badly. I can give a fuck less about all the political bullshit involved in this. I can fucking care less. But this is the thing. So she says, please, you know, sponsor me, sponsor all this other shit. Make any donation is acceptable. I'm not sending no woman a fucking dollar unless I'm getting something in return. So I simply ask, I'll gladly donate. Do you have any nudes? I know I'm not the only person fucking thinking this. You're not elected because you're fucking smart and sophisticated and intelligent. That's not why you were elected. That's funny. I will gladly fucking donate money to your campaign fund, assuming that you can produce a calendar that shows how many beer bottles you can shove up your ass. I'd be into the calendar. I'm buying that calendar, and I can guarantee you I'm not the only one. Anyway, look, right? Everybody's fucking campaigns on illegal immigration and yada, 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 which is, oh, God, man. I'm not even going to get into it. But this is the thing, right? If I'm talking to one of the neighborhood kids, one of the neighborhood kids tells me that this little other slut, retarded, pig, dumbass, I don't want to call her retarded. We'll call her autistic. She's a pistol-whipped autistic chick. If she was in a porno, that would be the porno that she was in. Pistol-whipped autistic chicks. Volume 6. I'm trying to educate the fucking youth, right? And what I tell this motherfucker is, I see this fucking little slut pig walking around the neighborhood, and I see she got a belly in her. So I said, Junior, what the fuck's her deal, man? Do you know her? Is she looks pregnant? He was like, yeah, dude, I do know her, and she is pregnant. And the first thing I'm thinking is, clearly she was brutally raped by the fucking illegals that are squatting in the fucking abandoned house at the end of the block. Tell this kid, let me tell you how fucking smart I am. And I can tell you what that girl and her little fucking embryo is thinking right now, simultaneously, and this is what both are thinking right now. My mom is gonna kill me. And I get it, man. Look, pay attention. I know all about fucking disappointments. I'm just about 50 fucking years old, man. I've lived well over half my life, and it's gotten to the point where I just don't give a fuck anymore. But I know all about fucking disappointment, and I'll tell you, okay, you want to hear fucking disappointment? I'll tell you disappointment. Disappointment is, I'm at that age where I've had to go and get a fucking prostate exam. The most disappointing feeling in this whole procedure, I can imagine what you're thinking. A lot of it would be disappointing and uncomfortable. But the most disappointing and uncomfortable feeling in this whole situation of me getting my prostate exam was feeling two hands on my shoulders while this was going on. So I'm trying to keep my spirits up, right? And I'm talking to one of these little fucking kids, and this little kid tells me, he says, listen, I never knew my dad. My dad died in a car accident when I was just a baby, so I've never known him. And I said, how about this? Knock, knock. And he said, who's there? I said, your dad. And he said, my dad's dead. I said, I know. I was just reminding you. But I get into arguments with bitches all the time about Lauren Boebert. Listen, I don't think she's smart. I don't think she's intelligent. I don't think she's good at her fucking job. I don't think any of that. I don't fucking think. I just think she's fucking hot, and she would be incredibly fun. So my neighbor's friend, right, the other night. Remember I was telling you, she's a little flat-chested emo girl that I kept calling a cutting board. So she's been arguing with me about Lauren Boebert. And I said to her, I said, listen, she's trying to prove a point to me about, I don't know why men buy hookers. I don't get why a man would buy a hooker. And I said, bitch, I can explain it to you very, very simply. Men buy hookers for the same exact reason they go to Subway. If their wife had done their fucking job, neither would be important. And I just can't fucking bring it in myself to go to my local Subway. My local Subway put one of them rainbow flags, one of them fucking fag flags in their fucking window. I'm not doing it, man. I don't care. I won't eat Subway no goddamn more than. And my point to all this is, listen, being trans is just like having a penis. Being trans is all good until you start trying to shove it down the mouth. Children. Hey, look, you motherfuckers are important, cared for, valuable, unbelievably appreciated over this motherfucker, especially to me. If no one has told you folks yet today, just know I love yous over this bitch. Today I got 3 videos. The first one comes from Southern Drawl Law. Okay, now this one, poor Bob. That's all I'm going to say. This is a poor Bob. This is a channel that comes from somebody who used to be a police officer, who then moved to a prosecutor, who then moved to being an attorney. Now, when this person breaks this video down, they break down things that I would have never even thought of touching. That being said, hopefully you guys learned something from this interaction too, the same way I did. The second video comes from Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan is a video about keeping your fucking mouth shut. People ask me all the time, why don't you ever show fucking videos of silent interactions with police? Why don't you ever do it? Those are my favorite videos. In light of that, I put this one on just for you, motherfucker. The police will fucking twist anything you say, anything you do, any response you make. They'll twist it around and make it fit their narrative. So if you just keep your fucking mouth shut and you don't say shit, they can't do that. The very last video comes from Agent 01. I want to say I've seen this video before. I'm pretty sure I did. But I will say that in this video, a gentleman was sitting outside of a public library because him and his family were patronizing this library when the fucking police roll up and start giving this motherfucker a problem. How this man do it is right. You motherfuckers let me know. You know what time it is. Roll it up, twist it up, light it up, spark it up, shoot it up. Whatever the fuck it is you do to get there. I don't know what the fuck you do. Look, man, I've been accused of substance abuse and I have a glass of whiskey and smoke a bowl. So if you do more than that, I'm sure you're condemned by the masses. But in any case, pour your motherfucking drinks. Let's bust up some weed, put some gas in the air, and get right into these videos. Southern Drawl Law is my motherfucking attorney, man, and he's gonna break down this video in a way got me thinking, man. Let's check it out. Southern Drawl Law. Let's fucking go.
Tried to keep myself sane.
Hi. He called on me and my boyfriend, the guy in the red shirt. So I don't know who you want to.
Okay. What happened?
So my mom just moved in here, and he's been harassing her. He's been like banging on her door, bothering her, and he drinks a lot. He's a drunk, and the apartments have been having problems with him too. And so.
And who's him?
Bob. Some guy named Bob.
The dude in the red shirt over there?
Yeah. Okay. So we've had problems with him in the past, and so my mom came home. I brought her back from the doctor's appointment, and so he's been saying my mom can go herself. My mom's 70 years old lady. So I came to his door and I said, hey, I heard that you have something to say about my mom. And he's like, yeah, your mom can go herself. You, blah, blah, blah. And then, so he started arguing. I brought my boyfriend with me. So then he goes in there, he pulls out like a little black bag. I don't know if it was like a flashlight. He started pulling out something. Him and my boyfriend started arguing. Okay. And then he tried to close the door on me. So I did kick his door, and I admit that I kicked his door. Mm-hmm. So then I told him, I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the leasing office and explain to the manager that you're bothering my mom. And then he comes over here, and he starts telling the leasing manager that we pulled the gun on him. We don't have a gun. I didn't pull a gun. I don't know what his problem is. I said, go ahead and call the police. I just came to tell you, leave my mom alone. Stop harassing her. And so this is where we're at.
What's your name?
Nadine Chavez. And I'm a nurse in town. My boyfriend's a realtor. Like, we're not idiot. It's like, I'm not going to come here and do that. And so I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what his deal has been lately, but he's been on a roll.
You said this is not the first time, but multiple times.
Well, I think within the last week, he has been going up to my mom's window and just like knocking on it, and then leaving, and then knocking on it and leaving. And so he admitted to the other neighbors that he's doing that, and his response is like, she can just go f*** herself. I'm like, why are you being like this?
Your mom hasn't placed any reports or has called on him?
No, because this just happened. And it was just knocking on the window. That's all it was. They started arguing. I came to the leasing office. So
it's just like an ongoing issue.
It's like an ongoing issue. And then so she told me to make a statement to fill out a paper, because I don't know if they're in the process of maybe getting ready to evict him, but he has like...
There's something
up,
okay,
you know?
We'll go ahead and definitely talk to him. So that's what you said, you just went to confront him?
Yeah, I did, and I kicked his door. And then...
trying to knock you guys, or like he was going to close it?
Because he was like closing it on me when I was telling him like, hey, leave my mom alone. He's like, you yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I got mad and I kicked his door. Like, and that's all I did. That's all I did. And maybe I shouldn't have... No, I shouldn't have kicked his door, but I was mad. Sorry.
Did it cause any damage to it?
No.
No?
Okay. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll just start filing, like whenever he does something like this, let's just call you guys.
Yeah, for that it'd be better, because from that we can actually try to get him on harassment.
Okay, yeah.
Type of deal, because for harassment it has to be more than one, so it has to be a multiple, it has to be a pattern.
Yeah, we'll let him know. No, we'll let him know for sure.
I said, and if any other issues come up, go ahead and we'll report it. That way you can actually have paper trail that can help back up your mom.
Well, the part that bothers me about this is that he's saying that we pulled a gun on him. Like, my boyfriend's a realtor, telling him, why the f*** would we do that?
Is your boyfriend still there?
No, he left. He has a showing. I told him, I said, you need to go and calm down, because they started arguing, and he pulled out this little black pack. He pulled out this little black thing, and so we all started arguing, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to the leasing office. So I'm gonna call the police. Go ahead. Yeah. My like I said, not that it matters, but I'm a nurse, he's a realtor, we have, we know what we have to do, we know that we're not, that's not okay, so we have stuff to lose, we have family, he has business, I have a job, what the f*** is his problem?
Now, a couple different takeaways from Nadine's statement. One, there's an overarching principle that I learned literally on my first day as a law enforcement officer, and I'm talking day one, answering patrol calls in the FTO program, and my training officer tells me there are three sides to every story. Side A, side B, and the truth. And the truth is usually some combination or hybrid of side A and side B. And I didn't know it at the time because I was 23 years old, but now I realize that that's really just a manifestation of human behavior. When you deal with people, and you deal with hundreds of them every week, and specifically when you deal with them at the worst times of their life, and in high intensity situations like you do when you're answering 911 calls, you sort of learn how people do things, why they do them. It's a sociological experiment. And so you learn that if you pay close enough attention to what people are saying and how they say it, you can figure out what's actually going on. So we're gonna have to do a little reading between the lines in Nadine's statement here to try to figure out what's going on. But one of the takeaways that I have right off the bat is that she's describing Bob's accusation that her boyfriend pulled a gun. She says, I don't have a gun, and she catches herself and she says, we don't have a gun. And then she reverts back and says, I didn't pull a gun. And she's talking super fast, and she's talking a lot. And generally when people are overloading you with information, it's because they want to give you a large enough piece of information that it shuts down your ability to think of questions to ask. They don't want you to be able to ponder what you want to know, because they want to give you so much information to process that it helps them control the narrative. And in her particular case, she has sort of a nervous cadence about her, and she's very chatty Cathy about her version of the story. And when she's asked by the police about him leaving, she immediately speeds up the way her cadence and the way she talks, and she's like, yeah, he had showings and he had to go on and do A, B, C, or D. So she really, really, really wants the police to believe her side of the story, and she wants to control the narrative. And she positioned herself so that she could talk to the police first, knowing that he was going to call the police because he's going to accuse him of pulling a gun. And if you pay attention to her statement, she's got a sense of entitlement. She is one of these people who believes that because she's a nurse and her boyfriend's a realtor, that they can't be idiots, which is crazy because there are idiots in every field. In fact, there's probably somebody watching this video right now who thinks I'm an idiot. And that's okay, because maybe I am compared to them. But the point is, we call this in the courtroom, we call it improper bolstering. If you're trying to tell me that I should believe you or find you more credible because of what you do, then that's bolstering your credibility. So this girl is explaining basically to the police how she's better than the guy who called because she's a nurse and her boyfriend is a realtor. I don't think she was honest, but she certainly wins the police right off the bat, because the officers decide before they even stop talking to her how they're going to deal with Bob. And you can pick up on that in the narrative between them. After they finish with her, they go over to talk to Bob. Things go a bit sideways when Officer Nanez tries to lecture Bob about the way that he conducts himself and the way he speaks to women. There are a couple things you need to know about Bob up front. One, Bob got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. So he don't have time to play games with these women. And number two, which I think is the most important part of this video, is that Bob is fresh out of to give about Officer Nanez's view of the way that he should talk. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if were a crop and Bob was a farmer, this is what his field would look like. All jokes aside, let's watch Bob help Officer Nanez come to an understanding about his right to free speech.
What's going on, sir?
Well, for me, it's the fact that a lady's niece came over here with her boyfriend and pulled a gun on me after a conversation. That's what's going on.
Okay.
And I'm livid. Got that adrenaline going, but she's denying that he had a gun or anything, doesn't know where he is. Her mom is living in the bottom floor there, and her aunt is up there on the top floor. So somehow or another, I hope you can drill down on who her boyfriend is, and I'll bet you'll find out he's got a gun. I think it was a .45.
Okay. So how did that happen? Why did she go to you, or how did all this take place?
They came up, I forget when I had a couple of days ago, and I did one of these things of tapping on the window because it was her. I was going out with the aunt. And a day or two later, she goes, "My sister doesn't want you doing that. It really disturbed her." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, tell her to get." You know, that was all out of, you know.
So you were tapping on her window?
Yeah, but I mean, it was like this.
Talk like that to women?
Yes.
Yeah, you tell them to go get.
Yes.
That's super disrespectful, man.
Well, it's still free speech, okay?
Yeah, I understand that.
So don't teach me what I should be doing with a woman.
Sir, calm down.
Yeah, just relax, man. I'm being
Well,
cool.
then
I'm just
come at me like I have some rights.
Hey,
okay?
chill.
No, do you know what I'm saying?
You're gonna find out real quick.
Oh,
all right?
there you go.
You're gonna find out real quick.
Turn it on, I hope.
It is
It's
on.
Okay.
All I'm saying is maybe that language would have prevented this whole thing.
No, it wouldn't.
Because I don't talk to women like that.
They came up. Well, that's you. But they came up loaded for bear.
Loaded for bear?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Angry.
Okay.
You know, so she goes, "You have an issue with my mom?" And I said, "No." And she goes, I said, "I told your aunt to tell her that. And now you guys can get the off of my patio, my front door."
Okay, so where in reference do you live? Where does the aunt live? Where does the mom live?
Let's go. Do you want to come upstairs?
Yeah, absolutely.
You said you going out with the aunt? Oh, you can keep
With the sister.
Okay, so the sister and it's the... Okay.
And her sister, I don't know what, but I can tell you this is that that young lady was lying to the manager. I came in on that. And she kicked the door.
This one right there in front?
Yeah, when I turned around, she said, "Just get the off my property," and I shut the door, and it was a boom or a kick.
Okay.
And then I came out again, and that's when her husband or boyfriend, you know, had the gun like this. Okay. And this is the girl that came up, her mom, and that woman, her sisters.
Okay.
So you want to come up to my place?
Are you still in a relationship, or you?
No. There's too much pressure from her for sexual favors, and I'm tired of it. So do you want to come upstairs?
Yeah, we want to see if there's any damage to your door.
But I want to pursue this as far as possible with a complaint against that guy with the gun. It's a metal door, so. Are you dog friendly? This is
yes,
safe,
that's
though.
fine.
She's good.
Okay, now I'm just trying to see if there's any damage to the door, sir. You said it was a kick. Okay.
How many times did she kick it?
One big one.
One big one?
Yeah. There's a shoe mark right there.
Well, see, that's all right there, and then it's also right there.
Oh, well, then that's for my bike, I think.
Oh, yeah, it looks like all the tires, you're right, the tread.
But I don't push the door open with my bike, so. But I don't think there's any damage.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if she kicked it, it would leave like a little...
Well, then she pounded on it.
Okay, sir. So here's the thing. I know how things were heated. It was just a verbal. I'm not nobody to tell you, I know you have your freedom of speech, but it could probably be avoided if you speak a little bit kinder, nicer to.
I don't need directives. We had a man pull a gun on me. Take care of that.
We're going to investigate that, sir. I said, this is an ongoing investigation. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm speaking to every single one, gathering all the stories, but I'm also giving word of advice. I'm just saying it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. Just make sure.
Well, I mean, it could have been avoided if I didn't do this either. I got to get a sip of water. You want a water?
We're going to try to find out because the boyfriend's not here. We're trying to figure out.
No, he drove off right away. That's why.
Okay.
You know what kind of car?
It was white, and I want to say something like a little Kia, something like that. I tried to get my camera, but I was so shaking so bad I couldn't turn it on. But he was over here the whole time I was talking to the girl. I don't even know her name, but when I came back out, that's when he did this again.
So then you were just in the doorway right there? Trying
This
to
is
close
where
it?
I was having a conversation with her. I said, and I repeated what I said to Sandy to tell her mother. I told her exactly what happened, and I said, now you can get the off of this porch. Get away from me. And if you must know, the F word is part of my vocabulary. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Here's the case number,
Thank
okay?
you, miss. All right, so where do we go from here?
And all you saw was black of it, and then after that, did you just
No,
end
I
up
saw
closing
the
the
full
door?
face of the gun.
So
weapon.
he was just holding. Did he
Like
ever
this.
point it at you?
No.
No. So he just like showed
Just wanted
it.
to let me know, brandished it.
Okay.
You know, and her sister has borrowed money from me. Coffee, always comes over and is suggestive about sexual activity. And I never thought in my life I would say no, but you know, it's like,
Too much.
yeah.
Once he brandished the gun, you said. What did you do next, and how did that make you feel?
Well, I pulled back and went to get my phone to call you guys.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to see if I could catch a license plate because I didn't know if they went to the elevator or what. So I saw her walking that way and him getting in the car and driving. And I couldn't get the plate. I just couldn't get my camera activated. I was too nervous. And what are my opportunities to pursue this?
So we're trying to. There's no damage to your front door.
Yeah.
Potential charges. I mean, if we can confirm that the gentleman had a. I mean, it's hearsay, there's so like we need a ballot proof. I mean, evidence that
How about
brandished
proving
the gun?
whether or not he's got a gun?
Can
And then
figure
you
out if he
can
has a
show
gun?
me 3 or 4 different pistols and I can tell you which one he had.
Okay. I said we need to confirm that. If we do confirm that, sir, we can potentially go for assault with a deadly weapon. How I said, but as of now, we don't have any of that. I still need to gather that information from that gentleman. Okay.
Okay, because if I can pursue assault with a deadly weapon, I'm going to do it.
Sounds good, sir.
Now, what's the takeaway from Bob's statement? His statement was pretty consistent. And if you contrast Bob's statement to her statement, Bob actually doesn't take advantage of some of the opportunities to make it dramatic or hyperbolic. The officer asked if there was any damage. Bob said, no, there's no damage. The officer points out what he thinks is a shoe print on the door. And Bob says, no, that's not from a shoe print. That's from where I run my bike tire against my door. So he had an opportunity to blame her for it. She admitted to kicking the door when Bob tried to close it, but he didn't do that. All he did was just tell the story. He also had an opportunity to accuse Velasquez's boyfriend of pointing a gun at him when the officer says, did he ever point it at you? And he said, no, he never pointed it at me. He just brandished it and wanted me to know that he had it. I gathered that just from sort of reading the room on this is that Bob really doesn't have the ability to be anything that he isn't. He is, you get what you get with him. He doesn't particularly care whether you like it or whether you don't like it, and he ain't going to change for anybody. And that's kind of the takeaway that I get for that. And you can feel however you want to feel about that, but the bottom line is he has a right to be however he's going to be, and he's the victim here. And you can notice right off the bat that he is not treated as the victim at all. The next part of this is the officers talking to each other after they take Bob's statement, and they've got 2 of the 3 people involved having given statements, and they're going to discuss their ideas about it. So let's take a look at that.
What are you feeling right now?
Honestly, I don't think it's bullshit.
Pretty much is how I feel too. There's nothing to show that she kicked the door. There's nothing to show she punched the door. Like even just something such as this
I mean, she doesn't.
created a dust mark. You know, I mean she admitted she kicked it, but
Not with probably a force especially. Kind of like our knocks too. It can be like a pop, pop.
nah.
The gun. I mean, he kept changing his stories. Like, oh well, he brandished it in front,
Yeah.
and he was walking away. I was like, okay.
You're telling me this, and now you're telling me that. Like which one is it? You know what I mean? So, it's good as far as that.
I mean, just
I mean, it is sketch that the boyfriend didn't stick around.
leave.
But yeah, I'm feeling the same. as you. I mean, it is sketchy that he didn't stick around, but... And we'll see what management says, too. See if he is a nuisance.
So one of the first things that I noticed about this was that the rookie officer that's being trained by Officer Nanez basically said that she doesn't believe him. She said that she thinks he's full of shit. And then they're trying to explain away her conduct. He even goes so far as to say that there's no evidence that she kicked the door, even though he pointed out evidence on the door of her kicking it, and then he had a statement from her admitting to kicking it. So they are completely fine with what she did. Nanez twice admits on camera as they're caucusing and discussing what they're going to do that it was sketch, as he refers to it, that the boyfriend left. Meaning he knows that there's something off about the fact that the boyfriend left. And they are not fine with what he did because they've already decided before they talk to him that he's a bad person and they don't like him. Now the last interview that we have is Samuel Levi Nolasco. This guy's smooth and he tells you everything you need to know about him if you just pay attention to his interview.
How you doing?
Hi.
So can you walk us through what happened? I know she told us. I just want to hear your side.
So I'll start from the beginning. Whenever I called her to come home from lunch, she was just saying that she was a little upset with somebody. So I said, okay, I'll come home and we'll talk it out. And I got there and she said, I guess this guy is like threatening my mom or has been knocking on my mom's window. And I've heard stories about him before from her aunt. So I was like, okay. I said, well, if you want to go over there and tell him, just like knock it off, leave us alone, leave our family alone, then, that's fine. Yeah, so we go over there, and I honestly did not expect it to escalate that fast. So she knocked, and she said, hey, Bob. He said, hey, the dog's right outside. And he said, she said, I heard you had something to say about my mom. And he goes, yeah, your mom. And then both of us were just like, okay.
Were you standing next to each other? Or
I was. So
He was over here,
and I was on this side.
and the door's like right
when
here.
When he said your mom, I like stepped into the frame, and he was just like, he just looked at me, and he's like, you guys too, and blah blah blah. And then I think I said some words to him. You said some words to him. So then, what scared me was he, like after he slammed the door, words were exchanged, of course, quite a bit.
And I kicked the door.
Yeah, she kicked the door. And then as soon as she kicked the door, he opened the door, the two dogs ran out, and then I see him like go into his kitchen really fast. So I was like, oh, like something's gonna happen. And then we stood back and I was telling the dog, like, go back in, go back in. And then he came out with like a big stick, something black. So I just went like this, just instinct. I went like this to act like I had something. And I was like, get the back in your house, dude. And he said, you, I'm gonna say that you pulled the gun on me. I said, get back in your house. And he's like, you. And then we just left. Yeah.
After that, and then you took off. What happened, sir? Because I know you.
Oh yeah, I have showings. So yeah, I just went to get my Lexus because I have showings up in Talavera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just get your basic information as well, and then I'll go ahead and talk inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that guy's an asshole. He started blowing up to me too.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
To you?
Yeah, because I told him, because he straight up, I told her, go f*** herself. I was like, that's how you talk to women?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And he got so defensive.
Oh yeah.
My freedom of speech, like I get it. But that's some respect.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Fred, you guys can continue your conversation.
Sorry,
I won't bother you. No, you're fine.
So he mentions that he left the scene because he had showings. Remember that Bob described the car he left in and the car he was driving as a white Kia. Well, he goes to get a Lexus to show homes to people. So why does that matter? It matters because he's a salesman. And being a salesman matters because it means that he can present himself in a way that is different maybe than the way he is. And if you do a little bit of research, do a Google search on him, you actually find out that he was a producer for HGTV and he was a featured realtor in an episode of House Hunters, which further proves that he knows he's polished. He knows how to make himself look good. He knows how to present himself on camera, which means that he's smart enough to know how to manipulate. The other thing you take away from the statement with Nolasco is that she is also Chatty Cathy again, interjecting in parts of the story where she felt like he left off information that she wanted to make sure the officers had so that the narrative could be preserved. And they never ask Nolasco whether he had a gun. So they're there to investigate somebody coming to someone else's house and pointing a gun. And everything they're thinking about is not that. It's how bad this guy is and how bad they want to get him out of here and cause him problems. But they never ask Nolasco whether he has a gun. They just accept whatever they say, exchange business cards, and go on about their lives. So, in closing, number one, don't talk to the police. Everybody in here admitted to committing a crime under New Mexico law. And I'm not an expert in New Mexico law, but I did do a little bit of research. An assault under New Mexico law requires an act, a threat, or menacing contact. So generally when you have a statute that bifurcates assault and battery. Assault is where I threaten to commit a battery. A battery is when I actually touch you. And so battery is the physical touching of sort of an insulting or provoking nature in most cases. And assault is where I intend to touch you, but I don't, or I want to make you think like I'm going to touch you. And so they're both a crime, but in New Mexico, it's bifurcated between assault and battery. So when Nolasco admits that he is holding reaching behind his back in order to simulate that he has a gun, he's doing so for the purposes that Mr. Ewing will feel an apprehension that he's going to be shot or injured or be the victim of a battery. And he specifically tells the officers that he told him that for that purpose so that he would go back in his house. The problem with that is that he's the primary aggressor in this situation. Mr. Ewing has a right to defend his home as under the Castle Doctrine. This guy is on his front porch, and when Mr. Ewing tries to run him off, this guy threatens to have a gun. Now, if you believe he actually brandished a gun, then you've got assault with a deadly weapon for obvious reasons. But if you don't believe that he brandished a gun, then you have assault, but he admitted to both. And the police don't care because they like him, and he's a polished, cool guy who drives a Lexus to real estate showings, and so they do nothing. She admits to a couple different things. She admits to assault under the same statute, but she also admits, certainly for attempted vandalism, because when they gave her an opportunity to say that she was doing it to try to knock on the door, she says, no, I got mad and did it. So she kicks the door, which means she didn't care whether or not she tore it up or not. She is going to kick it because he made her mad. And so she admits to attempted vandalism at a minimum, and depending on what the burglary statute says in New Mexico, it could be considered attempted burglary based on the fact that she was trying to get back in the door so that she could talk to him. So again, in the process of explaining herself, she also admits to a crime. But again, the police like her and she's more likable than Bob, so they don't really care. But the lesson learned here is that you think you're justified, you go talk to the police, you explain your situation, you admit to crimes, the wrong officers, or you're not the likable one in the call and you're going to jail. Now Bob probably admits to harassment, because if you pay attention long enough to the video, you figure out that he kind of does this, but you also figure out that there hasn't been a report up to this point. And when they go to try to solidify their case so that they can charge Bob, the manager says this is the first she's heard of it with these two women. And so they actually, in their attempts to try to figure out how they're going to charge Bob, they aren't able to substantiate the information enough. But I guarantee you, after this report's done, if Bob messes up again and these officers go back out, he's going to get charged, because tapping on somebody's window and doing it in a way to annoy them could constitute harassment under the code. Instead of just saying these people came up here to try to take an issue with me because I said something they didn't like to their mom, and they pulled a gun on me when I told them to leave, and keeping it at that, he tells them way more information than they need, and he ends up admitting to a crime too. So the lesson number one is do not talk to police. And the second lesson, and I think probably the most important lesson here, is that police officers, they're human beings, and we have a tendency they have biases. We all have biases. And police officers are supposed to be able to set those biases aside for the purposes of doing their job. But these officers did a really poor job here, because they ignored somebody coming to private property and vandalizing or attempting to vandalize somebody else's property, all so they could boost their own sense of entitlement and prove that they were more important. And in the process, they decided they didn't like Bob, so they basically weaponized the system against him, and he's lucky he didn't get charged with a crime. But this is a perfect example of how an officer who can't set their bias aside will undertake the wrong course of an investigation and ignore things that actually are crimes and ignore things that do matter in the process of trying to hone in on the person within that tunnel that they've created by their own biases. And the lesson is, if you can't set your biases aside, then you need to take off the badge and the gun and you need to go do something else. Because we do not need police officers in this country that conduct themselves this way. Now, they were respectful for the most part, but what you say is oftentimes not as important as what you do. In fact, Ralph Waldo Emerson has a famous quote that says, "What you do speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you say." And that's true here. I mean, they were respectful in the way that they talked to him for the most part. And when it was all said and done, they shook hands and everybody left on good terms and all that. But the point is, they were there to try to protect somebody who was a victim. And they didn't do that. They turned the system against him, and they did everything. They did things that they weren't supposed to do outside of their power to try to create problems for him that were unnecessary. He was the victim, and he should have been treated like the victim. They didn't even take the opportunity to explain to her that she committed a crime or investigate whether he had a gun, and explained to him that when you come to somebody else's house, they have a right to defend their home, and you don't have a right to stay there and pull a gun on them. They didn't do any of that. They were so busy giving Bob directives about how to be a better person, and they were virtue signaling, and in the process, they lost the entire purpose of what they were supposed to be there for.
Can you tell me what you're doing out here today?
Hey man, we've got some complaints that started an altercation with somebody.
You out here talking to people?
Do you not want to talk to us? You can record all you want.
Put 10 out at Apple. Officer, over.
Did you go? Yeah, with one.
So you're from here?
224, over.
Anything you want to say? Or you just want to keep recording this?
Hey, do you have your ID on you?
Charlie, with the back, let's go.
What is that? On a radio?
David 240, copy the
Hey, do you have your ID on
target.
you?
Copy if you
I just want to get to know who you are. You can record all you want.
Sure.
You gonna tell us anything or not?
Hey, the faster you can give us your name, if you can, we'd be out of your way, okay? Just want to make sure you're not causing any problems with anybody around here.
Unit 7, 10-8, warning site.
Are you staying here for the night?
And you said want to clear traffic enforcement?
Hi, Officer Fernandez, Central Police Department.
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
It's Officer Fernandez with Central Police Department. Can you just tell me a little when you called in?
191, you can cancel the tow for the Toyota that was able to get out of the roadway. It was red line. Sorry, for the Toyota? Hey, man. Sure.
Did he touch you at any point? Did he touch any of the vehicles?
Okay, Gilberto, have a good day, okay?
Go. Thrusters is the tow forward.
Watch out so we can get in, okay?
Okay, you can get in.
Come there.
You can get in. I'm not.
Go there.
I'm not preventing you from getting into your car.
Thank you, Gilberto.
Can you step back? You're good. Okay. Go there.
No crime here. No crime.
I ain't got it. No, it's not. That's a lie. You a lie. It's displayed. I'm finna go to my recollection in a minute because I know the penal code. I'm sorry, guys. Let me have this. I can display it to you. Hey, they talking about I gotta get in my driver license displaying. Look at this guy right here. He hooked me up. He told, and I got my kids in the car and shit. Y'all might as well go ahead and call the ambulance too.
Tracy, no.
Hey, they pulled me over. They say I ran a red light allegedly. You know what I'm talking about? But this lady right here, don't talk to me right now. I'm trying to get this shit out of the way. And he ain't even got his camera on. All you gotta do is write a ticket, Vasquez, when we get on.
All you have to do is follow instructions and
this is gonna be your last chance. Give me that driver's license, or else we're gonna break your window.
No. I want you to refrain from breaking windows. Just say that. Give me your driver's license. I'm gonna take you to jail.
Give me your driver's license.
Or you gonna take me to jail if I don't? Huh?
I'm not gonna ask you again. Give me your driver's license.
You're not gonna ask me again?
I'm giving you an order.
Okay, you give me an order. Okay.
Give me your driver's license.
Okay, that's even better. You giving me an order. I accept that. Sarge, here. Here. Got it here. What?
You need to act right, dude.
Nah, you need to honor your oath. You need to honor your oath, and you need to honor your oath. You know what I mean? It display you threatened my life. You threatened my life. Of course I called you a bitch. You shouldn't have touched my car. They ain't gonna respect y'all. We don't need y'all here.
And then you're getting her caught up?
She not caught up. She ain't did nothing wrong. She not a criminal. It's all on me.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Y'all ain't gotta talk to her. It's embarrassing that she unprofessional.
Let's switch uniforms. You can tell me how to do my job.
Hell, y'all can tell you how to do your job. I tell you what to do. I'm your boss. I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes, yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you do.
Of course.
I'd love to drive a Beamer too.
You might got one already. Don't ask me if I'm on probation or parole. Get the fuck up out of here. Is your mama on probation or parole?
Is your mama on probation or parole?
Your daddy on probation or parole? Is your kids on probation or parole?
Actually, my kids are not, because I teach them by example.
Yeah. You don't teach them. They gonna see the bullshit that you do. You ain't right. You ain't right. None of y'all sheriffs is right. Y'all wrong. We don't need y'all in this community.
Why don't you act right, Terry? Why don't you act right?
That's not my name.
So sad for your
What's
kids.
your name then? So you giving me false information?
What you just said. Repeat yourself.
Is that false information that you giving me?
Check this out.
Whose driver's license is that if that's not you?
What's your mama name?
You sound ridiculous.
I know. You sound ridiculous calling me some Terry.
You sound ridiculous.
Terry is not my name. How about that?
What's your name?
I don't answer questions.
You're with this? You like to deal with this type of man? You like this as an example for your children?
Hey, I'm good. I'm a good man. You probably ain't even got no man. You probably beat your man, huh? You probably beat your wife too, huh? Yeah.
Stop, Legend. Oh, they record.
Hey! That's what the I'm talking about. Write my ticket so I can get on, man. I accept that ticket and come to court. I ain't got no problem with it. Oh, they allege I ran a red light and this all I get. This is what I get, y'all. Hey, look at all the people record. I love this type of shit. Look at all the people that's recording. Hey, he the type of pull a person over for no front plate. Your ass too.
Part of vehicle code, you're supposed to have 2 plates on your car.
Y'all gonna lie about it though. Cause y'all can't sit in front of nobody's car driving on the back of nobody.
How do you know I never saw the front of your car? You don't know.
Make up something else though. Hey, get my ticket. What's your name again? Ah, damn it, y'all. Hey, everybody, I just got pulled over, y'all. They allege I ran a red light. And this is what happens when you allege you run a red light. I'm in the city of Compton in Target parking lot on Alameda. Yeah, this Alameda and Greenleaf. She pulled her gun out on me and he pulled his gun out on me. Y'all finished writing my ticket? Go and write my ticket so I can go. I got a source right here talking about get out the car. Get out the car. I'm gonna bust your window. Come better than that. Your language is foul. You got to say, I order you to get out the car. I order you to give me this. I'm asking don't mean shit. That when you ask somebody, they ain't gotta do it. If you order somebody to do something, that's fine. I order you to give me your license. That's like I do that.
You're gonna get your ticket, you're gonna sign it, and then everybody's gonna go on their own way. All right?
Be quiet, baby.
You hear me?
Do you hear yourself? Fuck out of here. All it is a ticket. Hey, y'all going, y'all getting out of here. A ticket for all this, I swear. And it's up to that they play these psychological wars fair with you and all this old shit, y'all. You know what I mean? Everybody got the right to display licenses. You don't have to give them niggas your licenses. You could display it. You could crack your window. Look, my window crack. Display. That old trying to demand shit. Stop, Legend. No. Trying to demand shit, trying to touch on citizens, trying to search they violate their Fourth Amendment rights and shit. That shit is out with y'all sheriffs. Well, police period all over the country. All y'all sheriffs, all the United States ever did for this world was commit genocide. Killed everybody and put everybody in prison. Straight genocide. United States of America, that's all y'all do.
All right, so look, pay attention. Let's journey back into the last video. You guys saw that fucking pig-ass fucking bitch. She was like, is this the example you want to set for your kids? You mean standing on my rights? Yes, that's exactly the example I want to set for my kids. Absolutely. Do you mean I want to make sure that my kids know that every single one of you motherfuckers are a piece of shit? Civil rights of violating fucking tyrant cocksucker? Yeah, that's what I'm going to show my motherfuckers. That's what I'm going to show these motherfuckers. Look, if you made it this far, you've made it all the way to the end. Very special thank you to the 3 channels I highlighted today. Southern Draw Law. I hope you guys got something from that video. I certainly got a lot from that. The second one, Dr. Manhattan, and the third video was Agent 01. For more content that you motherfuckers do not see on this channel, join us at the USVSTHEMPGH Facebook group. My dude Chris will keep you entertained with shit all day long you don't see on this channel. That's why the motherfucker is the best. That being said, pay attention, man. You motherfuckers are broken, bended, twisted, fucked up, rusted, and beaten. And that's okay, man. That's okay because shiny fucking swords never win battles. Put your motherfucking drinks up, your coffee up, your cigarette up, your titty up, your pussy lips up, your fucking ass cheek up, whatever it is that you have in your hand right now, put it up in the air and just know that you are important, cared for, valuable, unbelievably appreciated, especially to this motherfucker over here, man. And if no one has told you folks yet today, just know I love you over this bitch. And I will see you motherfuckers tomorrow morning. Cheers, guys. Stay safe.
Welcome to this every fucking motherfucker way you will be. Welcome.